design for keeping secrets in my head, or any space you can find. Glad to see that I could help make your life a bit easier. But have you ever thought of how I felt? You need to think about your behavior.
It's an early Thursday morning, and it's time for another edition of Butch On Sports. Simply Butch is here, and as always, thanks for tuning in. Normally it comes on a Wednesday night, but we're doing this gig on an early Wednesday morning. Indeed, hopefully we'll give you some sports news that you can't get enough of, and then some here. So let's have at it, boys and girls, and give you some sports here. First and foremost, the Detroit Tigers played last night and kept it close for a good period of time until they failed, and the Cleveland Indians come back and score a flurry of runs. Mike Clemenger matched his career high with 12 strikeouts in 6 innings. Oscar Mercado drove in 2 runs for the Cleveland Indians, and they beat the Detroit Tigers by a score of 72 on Wednesday night. Nicholas Castellanos scored an RBI single, and by singles by Jeremy Castellanos pulled the Detroit Tigers within a 2-1 in the 6th after Castellanos hit a home run in the top of the 8th, made it kind of close, 3-2. The Indians went on the nut, and I can't tell you no more. Final score 72, Cleveland Indians. They have one more tonight in Cleveland before they come back to Detroit to take the Toronto Blue Jays on this particular weekend. On Friday, yes. And I kind of paused on that there because the weather man has been saying it's going to be the hottest weather of the summer. Scorching 90 degrees plus, and the heat index over 100 and something, maybe 115 on a couple of those days. So we will wait to see. We will wait and see indeed here for that particular day. The Detroit Red Wings yesterday, they signed defenseman Joe Hickey to a 2-year contract. Hickey, 23 years old, skated in 11 games with the Detroit Red Wings during the 18-19 campaign and has totaled 16 NHL appearances over the last 2 seasons. Maybe the Red Wings is going to give this young man a shot. Again, the Red Wings are in need of good defensemen, and that's going to be the battle this year. And at camp in Traverse City, is getting some defensemen out there to protect the goaltender. I kept saying that. I will continue to say it until we see progress in the 2019-20 season. Speaking of hockey there, the Seattle NHL expansion team is close to an agreement with Hockey Hall of Famer Ron Francis to become the first general manager of the particular team in Seattle. A person with direct knowledge tells the Associated Press this particular there. The person who spoke on the condition of immunity Tuesday said that because the team has not officially made the announcement, the expansion Seattle franchise is set to begin in 21-22 season as the NHL has 32 teams. That's another big reason why the Detroit Red Wings are stocking up and stocking out, because the particular draft is coming up this particular year will include protection of X number of players and goaltenders there. This is going to be a goodie here, boys and girls here. Longtime general manager Ken Holland went to Edmonton. Advisor Dave Tippett left Seattle to become the Orleans head coach. Vegas is Kelly McCrimmon, and Columbus is Bill Zito. They got promotions where they were at there, so the pickings were very, very limited for the Seattle team to find someone very good for this particular executive job, and it seems like Francis is going to be the one to be announced very, very soon here, as soon as today, or what I understand, Friday, he will be announced as the Seattle new general manager there. A hockey team in Seattle. I always thought Portland would get it first. They have the better facilities. But, again, I can be wrong. Okay. What do I know, huh? Detroit Pistons announced that the team has claimed forward center Christian Wood off of waivers. Wood, I should say, is 6'10", 214 pounds. He appeared in 21 games last season with Milwaukee and New Orleans team, averaging 8.2 points a game, 4.0 rebounds, and 0.5 block shots per game. That means he played only in limited duty there. Detroit claimed they are looking for some players to come on off there and get some stamina, per se, in their lineup quickly, without thought. Right now, I am watching the British Open. Right now, it's about 2:39. I'm doing the show here on Thursday, early Thursday morning. I'm watching the British Open get their stuff all together. Bubba Watson is getting ready to tee off in this particular 4-day experience in Britain. And I can't give you the scores right now because I don't have them in front of me. But again, this is going on. You can catch this if you are in a Insomniac or something of that nature on the Golf Channel all this weekend, or NBC will have all this exclusively. I'm betting 1 to a dozen of donuts. Then on Saturday and Sunday, you can catch all of this on NBC from the time to start to the exclusive finish and end. One thing for sure, golfing is around about 5-hour difference in London, England. So it will start early, it will end early on Sunday, or Sunday morning, I should say there. The NFL Players Association made a statement today. Their meeting was productive, constructive, and beneficiary to both sides, and the meeting between the NFL Players Association Executive Committee and the NFL's Managing Council Executive Committee will continue. The NFL will begin their particular on-the-field preparation for the 2019 season. Denver has kicked that off yesterday there, whose rookies and veterans are in camp on Wednesday. They'll start a full practice today. That's Thursday morning in Denver. And, of course, Denver will meet the Atlanta Falcons in the NFL Hall of Fame game on August the 1st at 8 p.m. on NBC from Canton, Ohio. That's the day before, which will be July 31st. We'll have the induction Hall of Fame ceremonies there. That'll be on Saturday afternoon, of course. Detroit Lions training facilities will start their training camp on July the 18th. That's a couple of days away, which is today for the rookies will be reporting. And the 24th, which is a little bit from next week, yes, we can tell you right now that the veterans will be in camp to start their do-wah-diddy. Excited about football this year. Many feel that the Lions would definitely make the playoffs. I don't have a crystal ball in my head, so I can't tell you. But we'll watch how the preparation and the preparedness of the players get ready for the regular season. They always have a great preseason, the Detroit Lions does. But when they get into the regular season, so much inconsistency, I don't want to talk about it. Hopefully that inconsistency can stop from last year and something new in the game will happen here. Report from Salt Lake City Tribune delivered some sombering news about the health of former Utah Jazz coach Jerry Sloan. Sloan is 77 years old. He's a Hall of Famer. Is dying from his health decline when he's suffering from Parkinson's disease and dementia. Columnist Gordon Munson reported that he's dying. The source familiar with Sloan and his condition told Munson just recently there. Sloan disclosed his illness publicly to the Tribune in 2016 as his symptoms became noticeable. He said he didn't want people to feel sorry for him, but again, he's riding the storm with dementia. I will pray for the family. Hopefully you do too. Pray for Sloan and the family that his transition or his wellness, he's not suffering too bad there, and is dealt with in a peaceful accord there. This weekend, boys and girls, Tigers are in town to play Toronto at Comerica Park. I know it's going to be thrilling. People just break their neck to get on down there to see that in 90-degree heat. Anything else going on in the city? Yes, the rookies will be performing their camp duties for the Detroit Lions. Detroit Pistons be still on recess and also doing a couple more camps. They're also fixing a lot of playgrounds in the metropolitan Detroit area, and then some here to satisfy a whole lot of kitlins there. And in playing basketball, they have set up one basketball court in the outskirts in the city of Detroit, where it looked absolutely beautiful. Fiberglass backboards, blue type of court laid out there. It was somewhat fantastic looking there, and hopefully the neighborhood will cherish it and keep it up and don't destroy it, because normally 9 times out of 10 we have a little bitty creep who think they can take a screwdriver or a hammer and knock down the backboards and try to sell them to somebody's needy backyard or something. There, hopefully the neighborhood will again embrace those courts that are being laid down with the money of Detroit Pistons and other organizations to keep that court alive and well there. I was going to talk about some finally some high school football. As high school football, some coaches are basically right now are getting themselves together for their upcoming season. We're talking about football, that is. The MHSAA has given a chart of how to deal with practices to all the coaches during the off-season testing and training of the coaches, which they're doing a whole heck of a lot of now. We're talking about the MHSAA, Michigan High School Athletic Association. It states what you should be doing in practices when there's overwhelming heat. That's including when the heat is so overwhelming. Maybe you can hold the practices in an air-conditioned place, or maybe during the evening per se, cutting on the lights and being a little bit more gentle. How many water breaks to give the children and the participants of the practices. The whole 9 yards there. Safety is being preached big time. We have had too many incidents in the past years of heat stroke and abnormal health conditions. They have also preached about that and making sure that the physicals of the players getting ready for the year, because every player must have a physical and a clearance from the doctor that they're all right to play, are on the up and up. that includes cardio checkup on the child as well. So they're doing a lot right now to make sure the safety of the child who's partaking in these particular practices. And it's very warm, at least down here in the lower part of Michigan. And the upper part of Michigan, there's a lot of rain I've been understanding been going on there. So practices may be a little bit more gentle. It was not hot and fuzzy out there, but some of the fields are pretty muddy, or if you don't have some astroturf or some type of artificial turf down there to deal with the most. It also talks about, and I'm hearing some other coaches talking about making sure the maintenance of these artificial surfaces are better. They're out there all year long, the surface and the artificial surfaces on these playing platforms that some of the football teams play on. How do they clean them during the season? So maybe strep and some other diseases or phantom things that maybe can push back a child's or a coach's health can't be prevented. That was a big question to a lot of the parents, especially with artificial turf. When you don't have artificial turf, you got regular turf there. You can cut the grass, you can cover up the field, you can kind of protect it in that kind of view there. Some of the, some of the playing fields and surfaces have draining ports, okay, where the rain would drain itself via a pump. So the field dries out pretty quickly, such as maybe a Comerica Park. They have what you call draining pumps. When you get the water at a certain surface, it drains the water where the puddles and whatnot go straight down to the drain there, and pumps will help suck it up. But again, the actual place, because many teams are going now to the artificial surface, and many say that it's safer. I don't think so. Regular grass is always, to me, going to be always the safest platform you can play on. However, how that surface is maintained throughout the season and the off season is a big pickle for some of the high schools, of course, if they get the money to lay down the artificial surface. Much easier to maintain if it snows, if it rains. But again, you look at particulars such as strep and other diseases there, and to harness or keep back a child, that's just not good at all. So again, and also you as parents, please keep up with your child as they're practicing, regardless of where they're playing at, who the coach is, or whatever it may be. It's your responsibility as a parent to make sure that child is being treated with dignity and respect throughout these practices there. Look out for signs for exhaustion. Look out for signs for him being well or she being well. Okay? That is very much so important in this cause for a healthy child to have a healthy particular there. And if you feel necessary, go and make an appointment and question the coach on what they can do as parents, as far as feeding the child at a certain time. Get maybe a schedule of the practices and when they're going to take place ahead of time, so you can kind of schedule a regimen for your child to eat and get rest. And some of the things that, to keep a body good for a child in general, you as a parent that has that responsibility goes on. It does not stop. So please get out there and get involved. A lot of parents need to get more involved with that. Those, you put your hands in the coach's hands to do the coaching, but you as a parent, he's with you during the summer months the most. You got to make it a training camp experience, a good experience for them. And some of the players are going to certain particular training camps and all that. Again, you got to make sure they're treated decently, and they're treating themselves decent as well. So we're not going to elaborate too much further on that there. We'll have more reports on some things that you could do during the summer months for athletes getting ready for the fall season throughout Butch On Sports' telecasters and podcasters throughout the season there as well throughout the summer months there. Again, it's going to be warm, very warm this particular weekend in the southeastern Michigan portion there. I want to get that off my chest there. But again, it's also not going to be a headache if you get out there and be safe. Drink plenty of fluids. Stay out the sun. You have respiratory problems or any problem that exactly where you're taking medication, where they tell you be mindful of the heat and the direct sunlight. Be aware of that, particular boys and girls there, so you don't get sick and have to be in the hospital, because you won't be the only one sitting in the emergency room there, because others are going to be there as well. Hopefully it's not that way, but I'm just telling you. Get yourself together and kind of maintain to yourself so you can enjoy the summer months there. Butch On Sports is done for this particular setup there. Butch On Sports is a presentation of Oh My Darling Production. Check out Butch On Sports on Facebook. Yes, go on Facebook. Maybe give me a like there if you can. And check out Butch On Sports there. You can also go to the PowerMaticSite.com and type in SIMPLYBUTCHTOO.Podomatic.com to pull that on up there and go to the Podomatic site. You can also get the podcast during a website called thegamesportshow.com or thegamesportshow.podbean.com. You can catch Butch On Sports on that. Collaboration is there as we'll be moving pretty soon to another station on the game on Monday nights there. So hey, without further ado, we're out of here. Have a great weekend, boys and girls. Dig it.